And then they make silly statements like, well, Islam is not a threat to the church. Real. Tell that to all the Christians being murdered all over the world and raped, women, or those October 7th. And this ecumenicalism is spilling into the mainstream of evangelicalism, as you very well know. But this is what's going to allow for this false dominant church, I think, of Revelation 17:1. But this ecumenicalism might actually help to propel the building of the temple. Can you speak a little bit to this issue of Freemasonry? Do you have anything on the Jesuits, their interest in aspects of controlling sites in Jerusalem particularly, and how you might see the Jesuits and the Freemasons and the occultists and the apostates working together to maybe even build the temple, Temple of Solomon?
So the Temple of Solomon, I can only speak to it from the sense that Freemasonry views it as an important part of their legend and lore. That the Temple of Solomon has been kind of a model and has been a very important component of Masonic myth and Masonic teaching. Regarding the exact details of who's doing what and what's doing, kind of the push towards the building of the temple from, let's say, a Masonic perspective, I can't really speak anything to that effect. However, the issue of interfaithism, the issue of global ecumenical unity, I certainly can. And that's because I have been to a number of global interfaith events, including the Parliament of World Religions back in 2015, 2018. I did the virtual parliament in 2021. And then in 2023 in Chicago, the Parliament of World Religions was there once again. And what you're seeing is in those examples, it's that convergence as religious leaders, including many, many Christian leaders, work hand in glove with Islamic leaders, Hindus, Sikhs, many from the Baha'i community, as they are interacting also with members of the global political community, the United Nations, and other various organizations. This is an example. Here's the agenda book from the 2023 Parliament, which incidentally at the in their exhibition hall, they had Universal Freemasonry as one of their exhibitors. And you have this very interesting confluence, this coming together of various religious beliefs, philosophies, the New Age movement. You see theosophy, they're there. And it's a stark, powerful example of how world religions desire to work together within a global, kind of a global platform. Now, what's interesting with this, however, Brandon, sorry to interrupt, is philosophically, it does absolutely align with Freemasonry and its concepts of religious universalism. When I was first studying Freemasonry back in the early 1990s, and this is actually what got me on track to do the work I'm doing, what struck me as I went through the literature was that it emphasized religious universalism. You couldn't get away from it. All men bow to the, around the altar. Doesn't matter what your faith is, Christian, Muhammad, Jew, whatever your faith may be, as long as you proclaim the great architect of the universe, you bow your knee around the common altar of Freemasonry. So that aspect of universalism absolutely fits within the concept of a religious plurality coming together for the common cause, the common good. Melvin Johnson, a really important Mason of the last century, put it this way: Masonry is not Christian, nor is it Mohammedan, nor Jewish, nor be classified by the name of any other sect. The power which has held it together, the chemical which has caused its growth, the central doctrine which makes it unique, is the opportunity it affords men of every faith happily to kneel together at the same altar, each in worship of the God it reveres, under the universal name of great architect of the universe. And then he went on to say that this universalism, this recognized religious universalism, is the only way we can furnish the world a common base in which all civilized men may unite.
Mm.
I think that's telling right there.
Well, look at this. I showed this last night on television. The Grand Lodge of Ohio. King Solomon's Temple. This is April 2023. King Solomon's Temple and Freemasonry, a framework for self-improvement.
Yep. It's a model. It's a framework. Yeah, absolutely.
And if you put in Freemasonry in King Solomon's Temple or rebuilding the temple, you're going to find a lot of Masonic sites talking about it. They're willing to do this.
Absolutely. It's a very important part of their lore.
Mm-hmm. And I guess what I'm trying to say is, again, we're balanced. We are for what God has planned for the Jewish people, but we also know that they are blinded partially. Their hearts are hardened partially. But the promise to them is it's not irrevocable. It is irrevocable, I should say. It's irrevocable, says the Apostle Paul, a Jew of the line of Benjamin. And we're waiting for the church age to end. And then the time of the Gentiles, as it's been called, which will run all the way through the tribulation period till the millennial kingdom is set up. But even though we go into that time of tribulation, that's going to be when the Lord focuses more and more on the Jews. Now, what I'm trying to say here is we have to be patient with any of the New Age Jews, the mystic Jews, the Kabbalah, if you will, Kabbalah ideology of New Age and Judaism mixed together. And we can't be aggressive in a manner that is not consistent toward others that are caught in false doctrines, right? And so people will jump out and say, well, the Jews say this about Jesus, and the Jews say this. I'm like, yeah, what did you say about Jesus before you became a believer, right?